Okay, so I'm making this video to update everyone about Sean. It's been a little while. I think last I posted or something, it was a picture of us sitting outside around Christmas time. A lot has changed since then. So, gosh, where to start? So back in, I want to say April. Yeah, because it was my birthday last year. So back in sometime beginning of April, end of March or something like that, my mom noticed blood in my brother's bladder bag. And she brought it up to the nurse. The nurse was like, oh, okay, I'll let the doctor know. And then, a couple days later, she went in, there was blood in there again. And she kind of kept bringing it up. And the great thing about technology is me and my mom text each other literally everything related to Sean. And we started doing this right in the beginning because we found that if we need to go back and reference something, we can quickly search for it the way phones work and pull it up. Same thing with photos, timeline. It kind of gets everything covered. So we got a call. I think she was was she here? No, I was at work. And she got a call from Sean's facility. He was at Plaza Healthcare, that he was unresponsive. He had a very high potassium level and he was being sent to the hospital. She called me hysterical. So I went there. I got there actually before she did. And I'm talking to them and they're like, yeah, he's unresponsive. We don't know much about it. I'm not sure. To me, I immediately panicked because I couldn't comprehend what unresponsive meant. I was like, what do you mean? Is he dead? What do you mean unresponsive? I don't get it. Is he not breathing? What is it? I'm like, no, he's breathing. All that's good, but he's just not awake. He can't wake up. He his eyes are not open, whatever. So my mom got there. So we started and they found out his potassium level was 9.4. Don't know if you know anything about potassium, but anything over, I think it's 4 or 5. Hang on. Let me check because it was really high. Dangerous potassium levels. So normal is 3.6 to 5.2. Let's see what high would be. Dangerous levels for potassium high. So a potassium level above 6 per liter is considered dangerous and requires immediate medical attention. And it doesn't even say higher than 6 because that's just crazy. Yeah, he was a 9.4. So the doctor sat us down and was like, we don't know what's going on. We got to try to figure it out. Could be kidney shutting down, not working, not filtering. Then we would need to do dialysis, and it could be something where it fixes it, or it could be something where he's on dialysis the rest of his life. We don't know. So we were like, okay, just, do what you gotta do. Let us know. I want to say he was in the hospital probably a week or so at that point. It took 2 days for the potassium to start going down. He was in his ICU room when they were taking levels every half hour, every hour or something. He was up in his ICU room and it got to 9.7. And they were doing everything they could to try to get it down. Turns out he had severe kidney stones, huge kidney stones in both kidneys, just tons of them. And they were blocking the way for the urine to go through. And so it was creating blood as they were trying to pass through. And we had notified the nurses literally for 3 weeks straight. We have a text message from my mom and it says in the text message, there's blood in his urine again, which means at some point prior to that text message, there was blood in his urine. And that text message was almost exactly 3 weeks. And they just kept telling us oh, it just needs to be flushed. We just got to flush the bag. Or they'd say oh, well, he got a bath today or a shower today. And, it pulls on the suprapubic catheter. So sometimes that creates blood. No. And you think after 3 consecutive weeks of blood, the provider would be something's not right here, but no. So we kind of got all that sorted and everything. Went back to the facility. We had a care meeting we had a meeting with his care team shortly after. And I'd asked, I was what happened? They're I don't know, but we got him another provider. It's oh, so like that still doesn't explain like why this happened, like how we let this get this bad. So that put it on our radar that he's got kidney stones. So we had stents put in his kidneys, They were taken out shortly after, but they didn't do anything about the actual stones. Kind of, it's been a year now. We kind of go in, out, all these things, have UTIs, whatever. Back in November at some point, he had like a bad UTI. Stuff was going awry again before he came home. And he was sent to the ER again at St. Joe's downtown. Dr. Camacho put stents in again. Said this is an emergency stent surgery, blah, blah, blah. They need to come out in 4 weeks. Okay, great. He comes home, all these things. And he was home for 3 weeks, I think it was. And his oxygen started tanking. He turned blue. My mom said it was like the scariest thing she's seen because he was like gasping for air. She immediately called 911. Thankfully, Sun Lakes Fire Department is right around the corner from her house. So they were able to get there. They bagged him, all that fun jazz, and got him to the hospital. He had pneumonia and among a couple other things. He was there 3 weeks, around 3 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks, 2.5, something like that. They said he's got a really bad infection. I think they said it was like in the, so in his trach, we suction him and stuff, and he gets like mucus secretions. And they said that there's like some sort of like infection in the secretions, plus like a little bit of pneumonia, probably some UTI stuff again, blood in the urine a little bit. So my mom's like, well, those stents have to come out. It's been a little over a month now. Dr. John Robinson, make sure I got the name right. My mom texted to me the other day because I need to know these people so I know who to talk to. Yes, Dr. John Robinson. He is a PA at Ocotillo, Banner Honor Health Ocotillo, whatever that one is, down in Chandler. He's the urologist there. He told my mom that he will not be taking the stents out. And he actually signed off on him as like A-OK from a urologist standpoint. Meanwhile, these stents are still in his kidneys, and he's still got blood coming out in his urine. And so they're like, well, he's got to be on antibiotics for 6 weeks. They're through a PICC line. My mom's like, no, I can't do a PICC line. I already do the tube feed. I do the meds through his stomach tube. I do the, she doesn't do anything with the suprapubic catheter, but he's got that needs, like the bags need to be changed. She's like, the ventilator suction. She's like, I do all of this. Like, I can't add IV antibiotics. The only option was a nursing home, which 3 of them now almost killed him. So we were like, okay, mom's like, I'll give it a try. She brought him home, did a couple of the meds, I think. And then again, like this happened. So he went back to ICU, and he was there, I think, a day or so. And they found a skilled nursing home called, oh, that was my dog, sorry.